May 20th. I'll read the paper. It says April. At 5:33 p.m. Roll call. Members, board members. You got the roll call, right? Discussion next steps. Torrington and TMS AC repairs.
Okay, so in the packet on page 3 of 14 is the repair to fix a leaking tube inside of the chiller barrel at Torrington School. Last year we limped along with this. We had a number of problems with the AC going down. Because of this, we brought McQuay out to take a look at this. And they're the ones that determined that the chiller tube was leaking. They've already disassembled some of the unit to determine this. And this is the price to make that repair and put this unit back online. Currently, there's no air conditioning in the school whatsoever. And this is a repair to get us out to that 5 or 6 year mark. And what probably needs to go in the capital plan is a complete replacement of this unit. That's it. The reason why there's only a single bid is because this is pretty much a sole source. It's a McQuay chiller, and so they're the only company that really works on this thing. It's their product.
What's the manufacturer?
McQuay.
McQuay.
Owned by Dyken, right? Owned by Dyken.
Yeah, thank you, McQuay. So that's number 3. Number 4 and number 5 have to do with Torrington Middle School. Page 5 first we'll talk about. At Torrington Middle School, there are 2 chillers up there. They were put in somewhere around 2010. As you remember, we contracted with a retro commissioning project to come up with some energy savings in that building. Well, one of the problems is that the programmable logic controllers that run these 2 units that go to displays currently are bad, and they're not recording the information from the unit to the display so that they can actually physically gather this information for all of the stuff that they need to meet that grant from Eversource. So in order to replace that, the 26265, again, McQuay chillers, is to replace those programmable logic controllers and the displays. One of the benefits to this is that, try not to get too deep in explanations, but there's several different ways that that information gets transferred from the programmable controllers to our BMS system. Currently, this is Modbus, and we need it to run in BACnet. So the new controllers will be put in BACnet controllers, and that will actually give our control system by Siemens the ability to completely now run this system and get all the energy efficiency out of it that we need. And up there, while they were looking at this, and they looked in their service records, the chiller tubes, there's two big long service tubes that help with the transfer of heat and cooling back and forth between the liquid and the liquid side and the air side. They haven't been cleaned since the units were installed, and so the recommendation was that since they're doing the work, to clean both of the chiller tubes. So that's the 6760.
When were they installed?
2010.
You don't have these on any PM preventive maintenance program to clean the tubes?
No, it wasn't anything that our mechanical contractors, either the previous one that did the installation or the current one, that even recommended.
Don't recommend them?
They didn't recommend that they did. It's not that they didn't recommend it. They did not. When we presented the RFP for the maintenance, there was nothing in there about from either the previous company or this current company about this level of disassembly of the equipment. Seems to be more of a specialized, 10 to 12 year deal where you pull these things down and complete.
you have any other units similar to this that are in that date range that we should plan on cleaning soon?
No, these are the only ones that are unique. The only other set that's just like this is at the Torrington Police Station. And now that we know this, Jamie on the city side also knows this as well because we shared that information.
It says, plowing work as beyond the scope, the draining of the chillers prior to commencement, that's something we'll do.
Yeah, that's our mechanical contractor will do that.
And what about work permit fees?
There's no permits for this. Right?
4 and 5 are basically the same thing.
4 and 5 are both for the middle school. So, you know, one's for the PLCs, the other one is for the cleaning of those chiller tubes.
Who's the mechanical contractor to do it? These guys are the mechanical contractor.
So West State is our mechanical contractor. What he did was they facilitated this whole conversation between McQuay and us. McQuay gave them gave West State a bill for an invoice for an estimate for this. And I asked him to put it on his letterhead for us so that I just didn't have an email with a number to it. So give me an official, so that's what he did.
Thanks, Jeff.
And what school is number 3?
Number 3 is Torrington School. So Torrington School is a water chiller, but it's a much different chiller. It's not, it uses reciprocating compressors and refrigerant versus the big screw compressors that we have up at the mills.
Glenn, I have a question. Since this isn't going to be able to be completed if approved by the board for at least 2 or 3 weeks or close to the end of school year, can teachers bring fans in? It's unmercifully hot in there already, so can we have fans in our classrooms?
Address that separately.
Okay.
Yeah. But hopefully we can if we can get this approved tonight.
Yeah, like,
or
Yeah, if we
bring
can get
it
this
forward
approved
to the
tonight,
board, as long
we'll
as the board
give them the
agrees.
go ahead and, you know, like I said, it could be 2 to 3 weeks out. It might be sooner. It's, as far as I can tell from what they've talked to me about, all the parts that they need are in stock for this. There's no time wait. It's just a matter of scheduling it and getting it done.
Well, it's Torrington that doesn't have any AC.
They have no AC.
The middle school, this is more of a AC is working, it's just not efficient.
The AC is working. The cleaning of the tubes has to do with efficiency, but the 26,000, the programmable logic controllers and the displays has to do with money that you've already expelled for the retro commissioning project. So in order to continue to have that project move forward, unfortunately, this is money that we need to expel. It wasn't anything that was anticipated when that project was put together.
So
Does this doesn't have to go out to bid, or is this a result of it going out to bid?
They're kind of sole source.
It's not kind of, it is a sole source.
Yeah.
And when we check with our attorneys, we don't have to go out to bid when it's
Yeah.
sole source
This
because no
is-
one else can bid on it because they're the only ones who can produce the parts that will fix it.
Yeah, this is McQuay. This is their equipment. They're the company.
even at the middle school?
Yes, they're both McQuay.
And West Side Mechanical is
Swan.
doing,
That's it.
So I can answer. Swan is the sole distributor of Tyke and McQuay
okay,
equipment in this entire area. So if you were a general contractor and said, hey, I have a spec to quote a job with McQuay stuff, you
Yep.
have to get it from Swan.
Okay.
So it just.
You have to get it from Swan.
But what about- yeah,
West
what
State
about the-
Mechanical, the only contractor that does the Swan product in the state of Connecticut.
Swan's probably doing repairs.
Swan is doing, West State Mechanical only put it on, I asked them to put it on their letterhead as a quote. Right? They're not doing anything other than training the system down.
So
Swan
who's-
is doing all the work.
who's doing the work?
Swan.
Swan?
The manufacturer.
Why isn't that on the letterhead then? If that's who's doing the work, it looks to me like we're paying and we've retained West State Mechanical. We have not? That's not how it works.
We have not.
Why wouldn't we get a quote from Swan that's doing the work?
Well, because I went through West State Mechanical in order to reach out to Swan. West State did the initial diagnosis of the system. Then they went to Swan, got all the information back from Swan, came back to me with an email. This is what the quote from Swan is, and I said, okay, just give me that on an official quote so that I have something as an official quote
Right.
rather than an email.
It all goes through.
Well, yeah, but it goes through Swan, but still, why, I mean, how many other possible distributor, if it's being done, if it's legitimate, it's fine, but
It's
I just
being
feel like
done-
there's
I can
other
assure you-
distributors out there.
I can assure you it's being done legitimate. That
That's
there-
fine, but it
nobody is-
just, if we're
nobody
paying,
is-
we've retained, just understand where I'm coming from, maybe others, I don't know. We've retained the services of Swan, but it's on West Side with West State Mechanical letterhead. They're not involved in it, they're not doing the work, but that's who's giving us the quote. I don't know how that works. How does that fly? How do we pay them? Who do we pay? How does it come out
We're
in an
paying,
audit?
the bill is going, it's actually West State Mechanical is the one that reached out to Swan. They're paying Swan, we're paying West State Mechanical.
So Swan is hiring, or West State is hiring Swan as a subcontract manufacturer.
Yes.
When normally it's a manufacturer hiring the sub to do the work, it's kind of reversed.
But not always.
I mean, as long as it would sustain an audit, that's, I guess it would, will it
Yes.
sustain an audit?
Yes, we
Yes.
work with West State all the time. They're working with Swan. They trust Swan. They do this work. And so that's why they're working together.
Yeah, but that, again, it doesn't, it kind of skirts around the whole bid process.
There wouldn't be a bid process because it's a sole source.
Swan is the sole source, but we went through West State Mechanical.
Just to evaluate the situation.
So, but still, they're giving us the quote. It's not Swan.
So it does pass an audit. That's what we do all the time.
I'm not comfortable with that, but that's just my 2 cents.
Go ahead, John.
John, there's a question at the end of this, but I'm thinking of my 1950 Plymouth, when you had a leaking tube in the radiator, you cut it, curl it up, and basically it's removed from the system. Is that what we're looking at here?
Yeah, not necessarily. They wouldn't actually eliminate the tube. They
They
actually
plug it on
need
either
to,
end.
they actually need to repair the tube. Because the tube still needs to flow fluid through it.
That's where I was going. So they will repair the tube, it won't lose any efficiency.
Correct, right.
Okay, thank you.
I'm kind of with Sue on this as far, I mean, going forward, their AC's out, emergency, let's fix their AC, but the other ones, I'm kind of torn, and I'm kind of with Sue on this. I understand sole sourcing it because it's Swan equipment, but West State can't be the only contractor in the state of Connecticut that does Swan equipment.
Or even in
So does-
Litchfield
does-
County.
Does the sole source actually apply to that? For West State, because West State isn't really sole source in this case. It's Swan that's sole source.
So percentage of this work that is actually being done by West State is the draining portion, correct? Of that. So they came out, I'm just trying to understand tonight, they came out, they diagnosed the issue, they contacted the manufacturer for manufacturer support. The manufacturer says, hey, this is what needs to happen. And they're the certified guys who come to it, but the whole thing's being billed from West State because West State opened the repair order with Swan / McQueen.
But it
that-
still exceeds the $10,000.
Just let Jeff
Requirement.
finish.
Yeah, so.
Yep.
For color, how much is the West State portion, the West State, actual West State's labor? It's gonna be peanuts,
Yes.
below $10,000.
Well,
So I see the situation. I only see, because I
Fine that
happen
you
to
do,
deal with
but-
the industry, so I see this
That's,
happen.
I understand that, but that's the industry. This is what we're dealing with right now.
Yeah.
Which requires any work over $10,000 out to bid. So I'm just not comfortable with the fact that West State is providing us the quote. They're not doing the work. It's coming from Swan. Why didn't we get a quote from Swan? Why didn't another mechanical company get involved? That's all I'm asking. It's over the 10,000. It's a legitimate question.
I don't have an answer, but if you would like it to go out to bid, then the next director of facilities that sits in my seat can take it out to bid.
I don't know what I'm not necessarily asking, I don't know what I'm asking for right now. I'm asking for answers to help me understand why we're gonna get a bill from Swan, right?
We're
For
not
doing
getting
the
a bill
work.
from Swan,
No.
you're only getting a bill from West.
For Swan to do the work.
A portion of the work, yes.
So
No, the majority of the
The
work,
majority of
which
the portion.
exceeds the $10,000.
So maybe, can we get an invoice from Swan and West State? Can they separate it out?
I mean, I don't-
West State for the whole thing.
Well, right,
We're
that
paying
was
West
the
State for the
plan,
whole thing,
correct?
and they're subbing out a portion of it,
Because
Oh,
they
the
okay.
can't do
major,
that.
the major portion of it to another company. The
Swan is
only
their
company that does it.
Correct. The only company that can get those parts.
And West State is our vendor that
Our
we
mechanical.
use for the district.
That's who we have a contract with,
Oh, we have a contract with them?
with West State.
But they are the official.
Maybe I missed that part of the
They've been our-
conversation where you said we have a contract with them. I didn't know we had a contract.
They've been our maintenance contractor and our HVAC maintenance for 2 years now.
Again, John, I didn't know that. I'm sorry,
That's okay. it's
okay?
valid.
I didn't know they were our contractor. We don't, I don't know how, I'm not in the facilities stuff. I'm asking questions that would be brought back to us to answer. Those are the questions I'm trying to get answers to. I think that's a fair question.
does their contract cover repairs? Like, we don't even know what's the contract's all about. Is it like a preventive maintenance contract, service contracts?
It's a service contract.
And under that contract, is any of these services covered under that contract?
Not the things that's wrong with you. Is that what you're saying?
That's right.
One of the things that Swan would do, but a portion of this is for West State to troubleshoot and figure out what the problem is. That's
They
not,
took
none of that's
care, they
covered under.
took care of that portion under their contract.
So then that would mean 100% of this is Swan.
Yeah, I don't know what, I don't know specifically what West State is going to do in conjunction with Swan on these units. I didn't get into that level of detail with Franny.
Any other questions on the AC stuff? No? Do we, proceed here, what do we do? Do we want to move this to the full board first, or do we go through B and C?
You, if everybody agrees it gets moved to the.
All right, let's break this down into 2 sections then. This will make a motion to move the Torrington School chiller projects, which is page 3 of 4. So move to the full board. All in favor? Opposed?
And you're.
Who else
It's
is
just
here?
it's just you two.
Do we have a quorum? Who's the alternate?
Gary.
Who's the alternate?
Gary and Ed.
But you only
Do you want me to get, I can get Gary on the phone? I'll get Gary on the
We only need 2 people.
Committee is 3, yeah, plus an alternate.
What's the percentage for call?
But if they're just moving it to the full board.
Yeah.
Doesn't actually-
Maybe
doesn't
you
actually
two could do
require
it.
a vote.
Right.
Doesn't require a vote, just.
Just we're gonna vote.
Yes, move it.
Because they're
No.
going to discuss that.
Okay, all in favor? All opposed? No. And number 2, we'll put page 4 and page 5, which would be the middle school. Was that to the full board or not? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? I'd like to know a little bit more about it, because I'm just questioning the whole. That's really, it sounds to me that it's 100% to Swan going through mid-state. And if that's not covered under a contract, I don't know.
It's the parts for Swan. It's the parts for Dyken, which is Swan.
If that work's not covered under a contract, because of the dollar, amount, it should go.
First we can vote it. Swan's the only person who can vote it back.
No, I'm sure there's got to be another contract in the state of Connecticut, like West State, that does Swan product.
What's the majority of the cost of
It's
this?
not covered under contract. I think it's a bit of a light,
For West State, yes, we have a contract with West State.
a service contract, but this work is not covered under a service contract. And any portion of this that was supposed to be part of West State, any of this portion, John said that it's covered under their current contract, but the repair is not. We're saying it's sole source. It's sole source with Swan, not West State. We don't have a contract with Swan. We have a contract with West State. This work is not covered under West State's contract. So it's over $10,000 threshold, so should it go out to bid? Maybe a question for you.
I think because the majority of this is being covered by Swan as a subcontractor, and they're the only ones who can do it. It's a sole source, so it does not have to go out to bid. You also have a contract with West State, so you're covered in both areas.
Well, the contract isn't for this work.
There,
No, it's almost all of it. Because any portion of West State is covered under a contract, so the 26,000 is really all Swan's work.
which is sole source, so no one else can do it but Swan, so
Okay.
it doesn't matter if it's over the 10,000.
Fiona, anybody else have any advice on it? Is that okay to do? I don't really know. It's sole source, but if we sole source it, we need it on their letterhead and an invoice from them to be sole source. I don't think you
But
can.
we're not paying. We're not
Exactly.
paying
That's
Swan.
the whole point.
But no matter what mechanical company you ask to
Yeah.
get a quote from.
Yeah.
You'll get the same quote because it's
Well,
so
you don't
source of
know that.
Swan.
Anybody can put, people are gonna stop on this number differently. Swan's given a number of $12,000 to all their contractors, and every contractor can step on it differently. They're putting their markup and their margin on it. West State's margin is coming out to 26,265. Some other Swan dealer or Swan company, maybe they'll only put 12 points on it and they come out to.
Actually, we have a negotiated margin markup with West State Mechanical.
Okay, regardless, some other contractor may want the business and put a different number on it. If it's okay, and if you guys are comfortable with sole source, I'm okay moving it forward, but I just want to make sure that because of the situation, it falls under the guidelines of sole source. And I don't know. I'm
This-
really asking for advice.
Right, so it does fall under sole source because no one else can work on these chillers. So if it's sole source, then you're safe with the not going out to bid. Legally, we've had to talk with the attorneys about other things that were sole source, so you move it forward. We also have a contract with West State, so we have to be careful that we're not honoring our contract with West State and what they provide. So,
If they're not providing anything.
well, they're providing some portion of this.
I don't see there being a chance for much trouble here, only because Sue brought it up, you picked it up, we've been talking about it. We have decided in good faith that the deal is clean and we can take it. We've talked about it. It's not like anyone's got anything over on it.
All right. I'll do the motion again, then move it to the full board. So, all in favor? All right, I'll do that. Thanks, John.
I'd be bad advice, it might be somebody.
Hey, all right, number B,
Okay, so.
Torrington driveway.
Torrington driveway is in your packet. It starts at page 6 and runs to the end of the packet. We had one bidder on the job. It was posted. Ronnie Raymond was the bidder and RAR Excavation was the bid contractor. They're the ones who put the original driveway in. They received the plans and spec from BL Company, and they, as you can see in your packet, their submitted bid was $79,500 to do the corrections on that.
Discussion?
This-
That's the driveway.
Oh, sorry, okay.
stuff out to bid, how do we get it out? It seems like we're always getting one response on all the bids we put out there. What's the reason why?
It goes out on, goes out in the newspaper, it's,
We don't use Construction Journal or anything like that?
But we used to actually do this preference to local vendors, so the local vendor can be within a certain percent of somebody else, be the low bidder. I believe prior to past meetings, I was on the other side, it was discussed that sometimes the low bidder doesn't win because, and then sometimes they don't bid because they don't think they can beat the local person by enough percent to win the bid.
It'd be nice to see a little bit more of a response to everything we put out there other than one person.
It was a couple years ago, and I still do the same, but from the other side of the table.
All right, any questions on this at all? No? Make a motion, to move this to the full board? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, number 3, John.
last one was you asked me to have Chase itemize the materials for the catch basin, which I did, and that's the 8147.
This I have a question. It says 2 flat top catch basins. Where are the 2? When I walked it, there's only one back there.
There's one in the playground, exactly where the other one is, I'm not sure. I know that we talked about 2. He actually gave me 2 separate quotes. One was for other catch basins as well. But I took the one that was more important about student safety and did that one and pushed it forward.
Yeah, the one with the rebar showing, which is labeled catch basin 1, there's rebar showing.
Correct.
Catch basin 2 is the other catch basin that's in the back by the playground, and that one really doesn't look that bad. So my only question is, which 2 is he replacing?
And
There's only one
There must
flat
be
top.
another flat top someplace else with rebar sticking out.
The only other
On the
flat-
property.
Number 4 would be my guess.
number 4, number 3 were also in the curve. There's a flat top that's by the number 4. I did this just for clarity for you guys, so you know what we're talking about,
No, I see.
because I was confused.
Oh, flat top, not against the curb.
Again, I just looked over by the gymnasium and the back of the school. I didn't see any other, I didn't go in the other parking lot, but to be honest with you, I just would like to know which 2 he is replacing. It says 2 flat tops, but we don't know what 2 flat tops are replacing.
Well, the playground is definitely one.
Yeah.
I honestly cannot tell you with utter confidence that I know exactly where the other flat top is.
I mean, 3 and 4 were over, I don't know what you call that area over by the other side of the gym.
Well, quite frankly, all the catch basins need to be replaced.
Yeah,
They're
they're all
all
getting-
deteriorating and they all need to be replaced, so. I
They're getting
received-
pounded by
I
the plows.
received 2, well, it's more than getting pounded by the plows, they're getting pounded by salt too. Because remember that our contractors do not use sand products anymore, they use straight salt on their parking lots. There's a demand for making sure that the parking lots remain safe for our students and our staff and our parents to walk in. Sand doesn't cut the mustard, it's salt. They melt everything off the parking lot. That salt has an inherent degrades, these concrete tops. I mean, the state has been going around replacing tops all over the place. So it stems to the reason that we would end up at some point replacing tops in almost all of our buildings. I did get pricing for replacing additional tops, but I only selected the ones, the one that was in the playground.
Yep.
He lumped that in with another flat top someplace else, and I said, fine, let's get those 2 replaced and we'll let the other ones go for now until we can find funding to do that.
The second one is somewhere else on the project. I did the curb damage, if you look at that last page. If you're there in person, you can just tell the plows just riding right up and just chew that curb away.
It's,
At
again, it's,
what point do we assess after the winter season and say, hey, plow guy, you broke something? Do they have any responsibility
They
or
do.
liability at all?
they do, and they come back and they put curbs back in place, but to be honest with you, I'm not gonna make him replace the curbing that has other issues to it, more so than what damage that he may have or may not have occurred at his school.
Because to me,
This has been going on for years, this degradation of this curbing And that's why there's a capital plan item for replacing the curbing. That was something that Gary pushed for in 2019, 2020, I think it was, that he pushed for this. But then obviously the pandemic came into place. We needed a driveway. We took money from that for the driveway. Then we needed engineering for the driveway. So little by little, that money has been dwindling away, but there still is money in there to replace the curb.
A safety concern of mine is this curbing back here that I show is in the playground. To me, that's a problem for the kids. It's all plow damage, possibly accelerated by the salt that they use, but I understand the curbing is destroyed all around the entire school. But to me, that's seems like that would be a concern, is that this is right in the middle of the playground. It's chewed up. Anybody knows broken concrete, it's sharp edges. So. Any other questions? No? Motion to move that.
You and me.
Motion to move this to the full board as well with the, if at some point we can identify which exactly other flat top you plan on replacing.
I will send you an email.
The only other flat top I saw was a double flat top over by the gymnasium. I'm sure that would be a different cost if you replace the double versus the single.
Glenn, it does say in the back of the school.
Correct.
I'm assuming it must be somewhere.
Well, there's only one flat top in the back of the school. If the playground area is considered the back of the school. There's only one flat top back there. That's why I questioned that. So, any more questions? Move this to the full board? All in favor? Aye. All right. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Aye. All right, thank you.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Mr. Candido, and Mr. Torrington is excused.
Mr. Berger?
Here.
Here. Corey is excused. Mr. Pettis? Here. Mr. Kisco?
Here.
Mr. Putnam?
Here.
Ms. Coder? Mr. Barlow?
Here.
Ms. Ferguson? Here. Ms. Panuszewski? Here. Ms. Lebanski? Here. Mr. Kozowski?
Here.
Ms. Schulte?
Here.
Ms. Ians? Here.
Thank you. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Who's first and second, sorry.
John and Sue.
John and Sue, thank you.
School community service, public participation. The board invites members of the community to speak on topics to be addressed in the agenda or other topics of interest. Individuals wishing to make comments must state their name and address at the beginning of the comment. The board will not allow comments regarding specific staff members, parents, students, or personal grievances. Courtesy is expected in this limited public forum. The participating time will be limited to 3 minutes per person and 10 minutes overall to guarantee efficient operation of the meeting. John Barlow.
I got a bunch of my peeps out here tonight, so bear with me. I'd like to take a few minutes to reflect on my time here in Torrington. I was hired in September of 2019, and one of the first people I met was Ed Aaron. Ed has had an incredible impact on Torrington over his many years of service and on me as well. They say that if you're looking for some information, just get a hold of Ed because he knows the guy. And he, like so many others, has become a great friend. In March of 2020, who would have known that a pandemic would sweep our nation and shut our schools down? Talk about being thrust into the fire. But when the heat was turned on, we got the job done. I can remember standing in the rain and snow to hand out computers. We unloaded about 10 trailer trucks of produce for Torrington residents. We had weekly meetings with Emergency Management Operation Group, who before all of this had heard things like cohorts, social distancing, wearing face masks, isolation rooms. COVID has helped me become a well-rounded director because of the ever-changing situation in trying to get our schools open again. Within a few first months, a board member said to me, "I'll like you more if you don't come looking for $100,000 for emergency repairs." That statement has challenged me, and as my nature, I got down to work. Other co-workers have said to me right from the start that it's like I was here all along. The list of projects is long, from completing the long-discussed Torrington Middle School windows. I hear laughing. Upgrading the building heating system computers. I bet you many of you can remember the Gateway computer. Energy efficiency lighting upgrades at TMS in Torrington. And who can forget the trips to Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania to pick up computers and Philly cheesesteaks, by the way, we didn't get those. And to Brooklyn for the test kits in pastrami on rye. Chris and I got pastrami on rye. Many of the smaller projects I would take on myself, to which Sue Lamont started calling me MacGyver. I am proud of all that I have accomplished here in T-Town. You have made me feel as though I were a resident. And now that I am moving on, I don't want you to think about what is lost, but rather what was accomplished. Every day on my way home, I talk to my dad, and he always asks me if I left Torrington in better shape than when I came that morning. My answer is always yes. I am leaving Torrington in better shape after 3.5 years with the help of my incredible team. I've had the pleasure of working with an amazing administrative team. All the dedicated staff work hard every day to make Torrington a place to be proud of. I want to thank all of them for their support in my tenure as Director of Facilities. Every day, I learn something new from the people I work and associate with. Learning never stops. We always build upon our base education, which is done best by listening. The lessons I will take when I am leaving is to listen, be patient, continue to work hard, and maybe some brevity. I knew you'd like that. Lastly, to my custodians, I want to thank you for your friendship and your hard work. It's not easy being a public school custodian. You have improved the building's cleanliness during the time I've been here. Many of the community staff and board members have said that the buildings look very good and clean, and that they have noticed a change. During COVID, you came to work every day and transformed the buildings and maintenance too. Remember, a custodian is a valued and needed member of the school system, and your goals are simple. Your building is your daytime home, take care of it and keep it clean, and you'll have something to be proud of. In closing, I want to thank Torrington for giving me the chance to succeed. This will be a place that always holds a special place in my heart. Although I'm leaving to pursue another opportunity, I always hope the best for Torrington. Thank you.
Mr. Barlow, you've said it a bunch and we'll say it again, you are going to be this. We wish you the best of luck on your next venture.
Let's go. Do some happy jump. I don't know. Excuse me.
So we have some wonderful representations tonight. We have staff, we have community members, we have celebrate these wonderful awards and recognition. So we're going to start with sports. And our board's leaders are on the leadership council, and they've made great strides with our students and really changed the culture. So Michaela Lugassi, Jensen Cleveland, and Ray Bader, come on up. Okay, just so that you know, Jensen, Michaela, and Ray have provided invaluable guidance and mentorship, shaping the growth of our students and the leadership team. Under their tutelage, we have embarked on an incredible journey of leadership development, professional empowerment, and civic engagement. Thank you both, and this is so important. Their tireless efforts in organizing engaging activities and encouraging meaningful discussions, creating a space where students are valued, voices are heard, empowering our students to embrace their roles as leaders and make a positive impact on our school and community. Klein shares, and certainly we as well, are very grateful for the impact that you've had on Torrington and our close community. Thank you so much for all of your efforts. Picture of the group. Oh, Joanne's got her camera. All right, never ready over there. That would be lovely. You'll be our photographer for tonight, Joanne. That would be great.
This could be dangerous.
That's, yeah, just move your fingers. Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much. Great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our next group is actually our community group, and some of whom could not be here this evening, but I still want to recognize two folks who could not be here. And one of those, this is the year of Wayne Spletzer. If you've heard us at other meetings, almost every meeting, I feel like this year we're giving Wayne an award, or he's receiving an award. Because he was a semi-finalist going in this year to the Grammys that you see on TV, he will be able to have quarterfinalist status next year. He has also received National Federation of Music Educators Outstanding Music Educator Award. He has brought students to the Waterbury Symphony, to the Warner to perform this year. Just some outstanding, incredible opportunities for our students. So big round of applause. I know he's not here, but he's here in spirit. Give Wayne the award at the end of the evening. And a person who is here tonight, and he actually was recognized by Wayne just a couple of weeks ago. Mr. Kim Gaffney, come on down. Now, Tim wears many hats. He is our kids marathon inspiration and advocate, and he's done a great job getting the word out to our elementary schools this year. He is our Masters of Ceremony, June 4th. It's on a Sunday. I know it's coming up. So we're so excited about that event to keep our students fit. He also does podcasts here at the high school, recognizing our students in sports and music and arts and just about every drama, a little bit of everything, which has been phenomenal. And he is also the organizer, coordinator, editor, gets us motivated to produce our Celebrating Excellence and our end of the year magazine. So for all that you do, thank you so much.
Yeah. Right. So for all you have done for us, you know, you stay here too. This is a picture of all the kids that came with me this year to different schools to promote Kids Marathon. So this first one is for you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Right? And then we have another group that was at Southwest, and these kids, absolutely amazing at energizing the next generation of kids. I want the Board of Education to have that.
Oh, thank you.
Hang it somewhere nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Donald will be up here, and we can hold our picture. There you go. All good. Thank you. Thank you, Tim. Awesome. So our other person who could not be here tonight, I do want to recognize him, is Chris Menick, who runs CAL. And I think behind the scenes, people don't realize all the things that PAL supports, and they do a wonderful event each and every year, our annual backpack event. There are over 1,100 backpacks that are given to our students. They keep going up every single year. They do our weekly pickup in Simsbury for our Gifts of Love free backpack program, so that our students in need really have food for the weekends. Every year during holiday time, they give $500 per school, which is really awesome. And once again, to families in need. The mentorship that they provide to our high school students, our middle school students, the after school programs that they provide for middle school and high school, and not to mention the basketball, which we all know and love for our students. And they serve over 300 students a year in that program. So yay to Chris Medic. You see him, he's out and about. He was a police officer for years and years servicing our community, but once again, he now runs PAL. He's the PAL director. So as we move on, we're going to go ahead to move to our translators. We are so very, very fortunate for our translating team. Two folks could not be here tonight, but they are some of our veterans. Luis Gonzalez and Maria Mays do our translating at middle school and Torrington respectively. Luis has been here since 2012, Maria since 2015. They do our parent conferences, our PPTs, our expulsions, our just outreach to families and really help that liaison keep going. And I think that's so, so important. So we thank them. But we do have our two bilingual family liaisons. These are our translators. These are our LEAP outreach folks. I'm going to have them come up because I just have more to say about them. Jenny Garcia and Claudia Casio. They are simply outstanding individuals. We could not do the outreach that we do without these ladies. They are absolutely amazing. And I love that John, wherever you are, was going back to COVID, because during that time, they were out there in the snow, in the rain, in the sun that was beating down on us, trying to figure out computers and translate. We need translation here, we need it over here. And just to try to explain to our families the food distribution, all that you do all the time. Jenny with our youngest learners, our early childhood, Claudia with our oldest students at the high school, and FAFSA, and just really welcoming our families with open arms, helping them truly understand what it's all about. Because for some of our families, this is their first experience. And to have our first experience be you two ladies, is so appreciative. Thank you so, so much for everything that you do. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. So we are going to move into our student recognitions. We had a lovely evening earlier in the month. The Litchfield County Superintendent Award. Our 4 students, 1% in the whole entire state, who show excellent leadership, excellent scholarship, excellent citizenship, which is really, it just gives me chills going through those qualities, because that is extraordinary. Because already, whatever your age, whatever you know, at this point in your life, you've already made contributions to your school community as well as our own community. And so students, I'll go through one at a time. I'm going to start with Boba Wetmore, and you're going to get the certificate from Mrs. Bianca, but you're also going to get the picture, which I promised you, which we took that evening. So it's really lovely and wonderful to honor our students in that way. So Aaliyah Trueheart is a 3rd grader at Boba Wetmore. Come on up. She comes to school every day with a positive attitude and a love for learning. This year, she has also had perfect attendance. Aaliyah is a hard worker, always trying to improve herself and her skills. Aaliyah embodies all the pillars of character and is especially kind and compassionate. She has been a longtime student of dance and plays basketball. She is an exemplary student at home. Thank you. Everybody okay? We can hang out? All right. So from Torrington School, Maximus St. Germain, come on down. Okay. So Maximus is a third grader at Torrington School. He excels in his math and math skills. He acts as a peer mentor to his classmates. In the fall, Maximus ran for third grade student council, but even though he was not elected, he showed good sportsmanship by continuing to help with school projects. His leadership abilities and commitment to Torrington School shined through. And in January, Maximus became an official student council member. Maximus impressed everyone with his dedication to Torrington School and his essentially good character. Congratulations. Our next student being honored is from Ford School, and that student is Stacy Grant. Stacy Grant is an outstanding scholar and citizen at Forbes Elementary School. She is a role model in our classes and active in the Torrington community. Daisy is working well above grade level and thriving in her classes this year. Daisy is an active member of Student Leadership Committee and participates in Girl Scouts. She is a local winner of the Fire Prevention Poster Contest. Daisy is a well-rounded, exceptional student who we are very proud to have represent Forbes Elementary School. She's doing math, she's doing art, it's very interesting. Nice perspective there. Southwest School, we have Elizabeth McGee. Come on down. Here's Elizabeth. Gets her award, gets her picture. Okay, put that aside. She's a natural leader. She's been on student leadership. She has exceptional behavior. She always does the right thing. And she has participated in her school community chorus, playing the cello, band, and being an avid artist. So congratulations to Elizabeth. For the middle school, name Naomi Petzel. Naomi Petzel is an 8th grade student at Torrington Middle School, and she might be on the Washington DC. Okay, she is wonderful, hardworking, respectful, kind-hearted. She does orchestra, golf, dance, Girl Scouts. She is a role model to her peers and an outstanding individual. And then, and I think Jillian couldn't be here either, right? Jillian Donald, from Torrington High School. She is the salutatorian of the class. She has really excelled in JROTC. She has been on the Olympic bowl team, the active student council, indoor track team, high school theater, and she also has a part-time job, which is just like phenomenal. I can't believe that she can do all that stuff. So congratulations to Jillian. Last but certainly not least, Faisal, come on down. He is our valedictorian for Torrington High School. He is collaborative, globally minded, and results-oriented member of Honor Society, Roe Kappa Social Studies Honor Society, the Mayor's Committee on Youth, Vice President of Student Council's Governing Board, Vice President of the Science Club. Faisal is a dedicated athlete, including cross-country, both indoor and outdoor track. Faisal volunteers at our local hospital, and the summer before his senior year, this was just mind-blowing, he interned at a hospital in Bangladesh. Wow. Holy cow. Students, Faisal, did you get a picture? You have your picture too? Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Awesome. And this evening, we have 2 students who are joining us as our student reps. They've been very patient. They're speaking this evening. It's wonderful to have our student reps representing the board. So after you receive your award, if you'll come join us at the table, you only have to be there for your report, and then you don't have to stay. Okay, but we would like to get a photo up with you. Katie Fritz, come on down. Congratulations. Student in our Music Tech 2 program and will be recording a podcast with Javier Colon. If you don't know, Javier Colon was season 1 winner on the NBC show The Voice, which will be, and he will be coming to THS on May 30th. So it's very, very exciting. He's going to be giving a presentation to THS band, chorus, and orchestra. So we're excited about that. Congratulations, Kate. Last but certainly not least, we have Ainsley Campbell, and she's a sophomore. Come on. Sophomore at THS and a member of the girls varsity tennis team. Ainsley qualified for the 3rd round and John took Valley League tennis playoffs. Congratulations. That's right. So we can't wait to hear your reports. So congratulations to both of you. We'll have them do the report. Good job. Thank you so much for coming to take me. I really appreciate it.
Student reports. Welcome. We're not going to hold you for the whole meeting, so once you give your reports, feel free to, you can leave, you can stay if you want, but I'm sure you have better things to do. So we'll turn it over to you.
In sports news, our baseball, softball, and tennis teams have all made it to the state tournament. Our baseball team beat Holy Cross Monday night and is now competing in the semifinals league tournament. This season, our very own Jody Pico pitched a no-hitter against Watertown. He's also made all NBL, while Logan Piccioni and Dean Basso made all division. Freshman Sophia Pergola on our softball team has also made all NBL. Myself, Ainsley Campbell, has made it to the quarterfinals at NBL this Monday for tennis. Amelia Booley and Brianna Morelli made all division for softball. We're proud to announce that Rachel Brewer-Karimi and Fasal Alam were awarded the CAS Scholar Athlete Award. Track had their league meet today and will have states next week. Come out to support our spring athletes as they finish up a successful season.
An academic update. In academic news, as the school year is winding down, our excitement and hands-on experiences are ramping up at THS. Our THS Student Theater put on a fantastic show to kick off the start of May with SpongeBob the Musical. The students did a phenomenal job and really packed the house all 3 nights of performances. This year, we have 22 seniors who meet the requirements for the Seal of Biliteracy. One student passed the test in both French and Fulani. Our Child Development 2 students and Child Development teacher assistants visited the Torrington Child Care Center on April 27th to observe and interact with their 3 and 4-year-old students. Additionally, 20 Torrington High School Child Development students participated in a full-day Red Cross training event. After completion, these students received their Connecticut Child Care certification, which covers first aid and CPR. Our construction students got the chance to tour the new school construction site. A big thanks to Mr. Shake for creating this opportunity for our students. THS business students got the chance to visit the Financial Reality Fair at Lewis Mills High School. Our students provided an interactive experience for making real-world financial decisions and managing money. On April 21st, students went to the University of Hartford Barty School of Business and it turned out to be a tremendous learning experience for the students. Students met with the Dean of Career Readiness. The Dean introduced students to an opportunity to work through case studies with the DECA collegiate students. The UHERT students were impressed with the innovative ways that THS students worked through the case studies and added to what their other peer students had said. Our students participated in a school-wide diversity day event organized by the Multicultural Club. Students are responsible for every facet of the celebration, from sound and music to the order of groups, accompanied by a program that listed each group's presentation that embraced the positive cultural heritage of our diverse students. This upcoming Friday, our students will be participating in Voice for Change, which is a great opportunity for students to engage in service learning and community service experiences, both at the high school and throughout the community. Chris Poulos, a former world-class athlete and motivational speaker, will kick off our event to start the day, and the event will culminate with a picnic for all of the students to enjoy.
In teacher news, our very own Wade Sputzdozer is a 2024 Grammy Music Educator Award Gordon finalist this year. In other great news from our music department, Mr. Connor Sullivan has been named our THS Teacher of the Year. Additional congratulations go out to John Kalinsky for being selected as Torrington High School's Para Educator of the Year.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies. Commission sharing, superintendent's report.
The financial reality are we used to house here, so we will house that again. Because recently, it's the easiest place to do it, but obviously, in the next few years, we won't be able to. So it's nice that Louis was able to do that because it is a great experience for our students. Very realistic. Once again, we received the distinction of being one of the best communities for music education in the nation. We have now received this honor for 23 years, which is more than any district in all of Ohio. So that's exceptional, and you can see why, right? It's a phenomenal department. May is celebration for our staff. It's teacher appreciation, but then it's nurse appreciation, and truly, I think that I see our whole staff as being educators. They're connecting with their students, they're helping our students learn, they're being good role models. As John was saying, even as custodians, right? Every single staff member makes that difference for our kids. So I want to acknowledge our TPS staff for all their hard work, dedication to the district, and support of our students, no matter what role they play. They are truly outstanding. Just as an update, we are plugging along with Portrait of a Graduate. I'm so impressed with the committee, and we have community members, we have parents, we have students, we have staff, we have administrators. It's a lot of meetings, a lot of work. We're meeting again next Tuesday to kind of finalize. And then we will be presenting to the board on June 7th. So it'll be great for you to hear those folks bring that forward. And just an acknowledgement of the Voice for Change. That was a grant that was won by Ashley Petzel. It was something that was competition that was offered to all high school students, and she's one of 4 who were acknowledged by our commissioner in the state. And this Voice for Change project is really wonderful in that they are providing outreach to the community. They're talking about mentorship, a lot of what we talked about tonight, leadership, and many students will be going out around the community to do some community service projects. So it's really lovely, as well as doing some learning and some talking about what they can do here at THS as well. So we're excited about that.
Teaching and learning update. Sorry.
Sure. Hi, everybody. Just an update on the state assessment. The testing we're about 90% finished in the district. We're going to wrap it up next week. So that's the ESPA testing. June 19th, we're planning for that professional learning that morning. K-5, it's going to be all about the reading program. We are super excited because the materials were shipped on May 16th and they are due to arrive tomorrow. And we made plans with Shelley because they are missing a lot of kids. So we have commandeered a space in the middle school for the materials to be delivered. And then there's a bunch of us that are going up on Friday morning just to kind of sort through and package it up to go to the various elementary schools. The vendor is actually flying in some reps for us to help out with that, so to expedite the process. So we're pretty excited about that. So then on the 19th, the teachers will have everything, so we'll be able to launch on that day. And again, Benchmark is sending some reps to help with that whole experience. So we are super excited, and I think Benchmark is excited too to have Torrington jump on early. At the middle school, the staff are going to work in departments to discuss kind of the year in review, develop a list of priority needs for next year. They're also going to dig into the parent score platform as a means to enhance communication with various stakeholders. here at the high school. Staff are going to work in departments and course-alike groups to review curriculum documents, incorporate assessments that will measure skills associated with the school-wide rubrics that were created for NEAS. That's what's happening on that last day for staff. And then just quickly, Pfizer sends us a nightly update on the DC experience, which is very much appreciated. Late at night, it usually comes in, and Rachel's gonna he sent us some photographs that Rachel's gonna queue up. Yesterday, the kids left bright and early. They arrived safely in Washington, and then they toured memorials, including the World War II, the Vietnam, Korea, and Lincoln. They visited the outside of the White House, the National Archives, where they saw the original copies of the Declaration of Independence, the U.S. Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. Today, they were scheduled to conduct the wreath laying at the Arlington National Cemetery, visit the Smithsonian Museums, African American history, and natural history. Here you can see all their smiling faces, or many of them. So he sends these updates every evening, so we can easily forward the board members his communications so that you can stay up to date on what's happening in DC.
So I'll pass those on. The students who stayed back went to the Science Museum, and I saw them as they were returning on Tuesday, and they were just so excited, very, very jazzed about what they saw and experienced. So that was very instructional and exciting as well.
Thank you. Sure. Special education update.
Okay, I have our numbers in for the last month. Next month, I intend to do beginning to end, so we can see kind of where we started out, where we're ending for the year. Right now, we're kind of status quo. We're pretty much done with initial evaluations. So our numbers are kind of the same as last month. 3 more preschoolers though, they just keep coming. So we're up to 91 there. I'm excited that we get to have our integrated programs again, which we've done. I think this is now going to be going into our 3rd year doing them. And that's been a really nice opportunity for our students to be able to get more time with non-stable peers, but also to have the opportunity for some of our non-disabled peers to get pre-K that they might not have otherwise been able to get. So excited about that. Our staffing, Kim, I'm sure is going to go over it, but we're in pretty good shape. I feel pretty good about it. We will need to do a couple hires over the summer, but knock on wood, right now everything's looking pretty good. So hopefully next year we'll be able to start out a little bit better than this year started for us. And as far as the 19th goes, we are in the morning for a couple hours going to have a full department meeting because I was not able to do one all year between CT Sense, the IEP program, and also the various things going on with the OTL for all teachers. So we need to have a legal update meeting, which I like to have with them usually twice a year, just to report all the legislative changes that have either happened or coming up July 1st. So we will do that. And part of that also will be a CT Sense wrap up. I think we've done pretty well considering how the whole state feels about it. I think that our staff have done an excellent job with embracing it. Our records look good. We're in compliance, which is great because there's so many glitches with the system. We were a little worried, but right now everything's looking good. So we're gonna have a wrap up of that and talk a little bit about continued training that will be offered.
Any questions? Thank you, Laura. Our update.
So apparently I'm so sad that the end of the school year is coming that I sent you last month's report instead of this month. So thank you, Marissa, because I realized it, and emailed it to her, and she's giving you the correct report. So I apologize that I sent it to Rachel as well, so she put it on the screen. So
My apologies. So you probably were looking at it going, this is any different. What work did I do this month? I did nothing. No, that's not true. So as Laura said, we're coming along nicely. The vacancies that we have, we really do have subs in place for most of them. The ELL bilingual paras, we're still struggling to find candidates, but I think we're gonna have some candidates over the summer that, we're looking at. So I think we're gonna be able to fill those positions. And I agree with Laura that I have every confidence that we're gonna start the year off better this year than we did last year for those non-certified positions. For the one vacancy that we did have remaining for certified, we do have a long-term sub in place for the end of the year, so we're covered with that. Our sub rates and our absences are really trending right about the same, but we are well on our way. If you look down at the initiatives, I'll kind of skip to there. We're really, our ESS implementation is going really nicely. They are now on site 1 day a week. They were actually at Mission Ave today, and they are meeting with candidates that they're onboarding, and they'll be there every Wednesday through the summer and through the end of the year, next year, to be able to meet with candidates as they're onboarding the new candidates, and they're providing me regular updates. So they really are moving, and I'm excited, and we're making sure that we're touching everybody that currently works for us and that we're recruiting new people as well. So we have 2 candidates that have been accepted to the teacher residency program, and 3 candidates pending for the relay program. So we're excited about moving on with those programs. The teacher residency program added a new pathway for special education. So I don't know that we're going to be able to do that this year, but we do have pairs that are interested in that. So we're really excited about where that's going to go, where that's going to lead. But that's kind of a new exciting thing that's literally just happened last week. We have hired 2 staff members already. You can see on the consent agenda, we've hired our first 2 teachers. We've hired our 2 Italian teachers that we had for vacancies. So we're very excited about that. I think last month I had just come from the UConn job fair. I told you how excited I was. We got him. I'm just gonna say that. So I'm very excited about that. We attended a job fair at Southern Connecticut State University, and we attended the mock interviews at Quinnipiac University. I went on one night at Quinnipiac University, and then for the secondary, we had Amanda Torres and Michelle Myers represented for the secondary night, and everybody really enjoyed the night speaking with candidates that are going to be teaching next year. So that was really great. And then we have the University of Bridgeport at the end of this month. And then for our office hours, we're just finishing up our May office hours. Tomorrow is actually the last day. So we've been doing that, and it's still steady traffic every time we go. So everybody is really appreciative of us being there on site. They're, asking how do they change their taxes for next year? How do they change their, beneficiaries or whatever? And we're able to handle those for them on the spot in the sites. So they really do appreciate that. And then our yoga is wrapping up with Kyle O'Toole, so that's great. And then our walking challenge, I have the stats for this week. We are at 81,081,619 total steps walked, and an average of 319,219 steps per member so far. Nice. And then same on the back, not much change with our fill rates, but I'm hoping next year with the ESS transition we're going to see a lot of movement there. And our turnover is actually trending lower than where we were last year. So I'm hoping, just like Laura said, that maybe we're going to have better retention this year, and that we'll see an impact on that number and some of our initiatives that we've done to retain our great people. Any questions?
On the candidates for the teacher residency program and the relay program, did you get a lot of applicants? Did a lot of people apply, or was it
From Torrington, you mean?
on behalf from our district?
From our district, yeah, we didn't have a ton this first year. I think it's the first year, so people are asking a lot of questions.
Okay.
The time commitment, I think, is what people are, they need to kind of understand it a little bit more.
Yep.
So I think as we grow the program and people see what it really looks like when they see other people doing it,
Right.
I think we'll get more people, but no, we didn't have. So if you're asking if we had to turn anybody away, no.
Okay.
So we did not turn anybody away.
All right. How do we put it out to
to our staff that it's available. Is that through, is it?
Yeah, so I
email?
sent it out through an email to all non-certified staff, but then I also sent it to each of the administrators at the sites and had them actually hand deliver it to people that they thought would be good candidates, that they would, that would be interested in those programs, and really had them encouraged to talk to
At least
people.
look into it.
Yes,
Some way,
so
yeah.
really
So
making
maybe,
sure
yeah,
that we're
Seeing other
checking in
people
with
that
our
are.
people that we know are great people that we think would be excellent candidates.
Yeah, that's all, thanks.
Any other questions? I just wanted to see for next year, if it would be possible. When someone calls in for a sub, they record what it's for, like long-term, you know, if they're out long-term, if we're not using it in-house sub, or if it's a one-day call out. I always worry that when we produce these as a public record, that if someone's out, just an example, on a maternity leave for 4 months, right? That shows up as this many numbers. So
It does, yes.
right, so I think it would be helpful just for the public, so we don't have this many teachers calling in just randomly every day. We have people that have had surgeries and people that are out
Because
on
it really does.
some kind of disability. And I'm not sure if there's a way that we could carve those, not,
We can,
Not
just it
record
makes me
them.
nervous to
but just show that.
be at like we'd be showing our number of people that are out on those leaves, and then that kind of skirts on that. Are we violating people's HIPAA rights? We start to, you know, that's kind of why it's not great to delineate that at the public level.
Just do percentage maybe. that's-
Yes, that's what I was thinking of.
Percentage instead of the number of people.
Yeah, like 5% are out on.
Right,
long
just
term.
not by school,
Right.
just like the whole district.
Or maybe even just of that number, what percentage is representative of those long-term? Right.
I mean, not for next year, I'm just, I just don't want people to think that we have that many people just calling in every day, you know, unannounced and unprepared.
Unless we do, we don't, right?
Well, I mean, yes, that's how many absences there are in a day, whether it's for maternity leave or for workers' comp leave or for
Whatever.
a daily absence or professional leave, right? Like, so we have people, you know, people that are going to PDs and things like that. So a lot of the absences are, so there's various reasons as to why people are out. So people might not even be calling out for those sub jobs. It could be people that are working in the district, but they're either, you know, getting a sub because they're going to a PD or going on a field trip or whatever. So there's a lot of reasons. I mean, we have about 18 different absence reasons.
So I don't know why that would be identifying, I guess. I don't know, I just feel like if we're gonna produce it, we should produce a document that lets people know exactly what it's for. You know what I mean? So like if they're getting subs to cover PPTs, right, but they're still here, but they're just getting subs to cover PPTs. That's just always been because I hear a lot about this, people, and I don't think.
Yeah, the absence reasons are only absences, true absences, not that is not, the sub fill rates though are based on any time a teacher requests a sub regardless of the reason. Yes.
So what about expected versus unexpected absences? Maybe that's a better way to, the expected ones you've already planned for. Unexpected is somebody was sick, you didn't expect them to get out tomorrow. A little easier to break down, not as identifiable, you could say.
Unfortunately, the translation becomes of these people calling in to get a long weekend off, and I think for a lot of the cases, that's not the case. So I just want to make sure people don't misinterpret this document to that. That's all I'm saying. I think it just made clear people know that we don't have 4,000 people calling in on Friday because it's nice out. You know what I mean? So, any other questions? All right, monthly financials.
Thank you. So we're heading into the end of the year, so we're actually running very big challenges. So we should have our next meeting on the 7th, so give a better number of where we think we're going to come there.
Questions? Service RFP update.
Yeah, we just want to let the board know that RFP was approved by the state and it went out, so I'll let you know, because that's unreal. It's a hard RFP to put together, it takes a lot of, so I just want to say that they did a great job. Most of the heavy lifting on that. Yeah, it just came back once with a couple of questions, had to change a couple of dates, and we reviewed it. And we're out for bid.
Board has to actually make two separate statutory motions for this. So I'm gonna read them and first I'll give these to you after, because it's a lot.
Do that now or do that?
Now, that's the next agenda item, required vote.
Just like the action.
Oh, it's two separate things?
Yeah.
Oh,
This is a
okay,
separate-
sorry, okay, go ahead.
It just, they happen to be in line one after the other.
Okay, it's very confused, so required votes. Okay, this one you too?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, so we have the healthy food certification, and every year we have to read these out loud during the board. They have to vote on them, and then we go into minutes and we upload them. They're to get us certification around $40,000. So the past 3 years, it's ranged from $40,000 to $42,000. And this is really just taking a vote that we are staying, following all the rules and the mandates by the state, which we do anyways, but this is just to officially get the record and upload them into the state system.
Any questions? Facility fees 2023.
So I'll take that one. It's in your packet, page 17 of 88. This was debated over several meetings in policy, and I think we finally got it straightened out, didn't we? So that's in there for your review. That also goes along. If that's a 2-pager, so front and back, 17 and 18, and then the next one is the application, and that is 19, and that would be the new application that was also agreed upon at the council.
Just a comment that that application is much easier to process.
I don't accept.
That's just a question. To the application, the exempt groups that people would check that they're exempt, just so we make sure they're still filling out a form, even if they're exempt. That 10% of the.
Everybody would fill out the form regardless. We don't let anybody use the facilities, even our own internal groups, without filling out a form.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's really, the reason for that is because of the scheduling, right? Because there, if you have 15 people that are vying for the same room on the same day,
No, I'm just thinking it might be easier for accounting if we know this one doesn't have a big.
Yeah.
And then if there's a dispute, if the person should have to be or not have to be. You know what I mean? Like if I think I'm exempt, I would probably want to know when I apply that you guys don't think I'm exempt, you know what I mean? From the fees.
So then, and then in that case, what I think I would do is bring this back to Erica. She's kind of like the main person that takes care of this at the office. She handles all these form stuff, and see how, let's talk about that and see how we want to do it, and then just represent the form back. I try to make an adjustment on it now tonight with approval coming.
us think.
I think in the interest of getting this done, we can pass this tonight and just correct the changes. We all understand the changes.
Yeah, so that the next, at your next meeting, so that would be your June meeting, you can have that come to the board for a look at and see. Perfect. You know, just after the meeting, if you want, I could just give you an idea of what you're thinking so that I can just jot down some notes.
And then just my other comment was, should it also be on the proposed fees? The only reason is this stuff always gets confusing when there's turnover, right? So like we're all involved in this decision, so we know what we did with the exemptions. But 2 years down the road, the people on the board may not know that. So when you look at it, you're looking at this, but you can't tell that there's some groups that are exempt. But again, I don't care that it happens tonight.
So we should just say proposed fees for non-exempt groups.
Yeah.
It's in the policy, that it is in the policy.
It is, but that they're not gonna get that. You're gonna get this and you're gonna get that.
Well, but, and remember that the form, the last sentence of the form, the preceding items are a brief summary of Torrington Education's policy 1011. Applicant should become familiar with the board's policy, which can be found on the district's website. So it, kind of says that on the form that it's your responsibility to know what the policy is.
Yeah, I just don't know why we would make it hard for people. It's just, I think that's where a lot of confusion happens, when we make it difficult for people to find information. That's it. I mean, I'm fine. I just think if we can make it clearer, it would be easier for the public to know that.
So after the meeting, let's just give me a thought of what you're thinking so I can jot some notes down.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out. Be my party gift.
Any other questions, comments? Thank you. Thank you, everybody. That was not easy. Public use of school facilities policy, 1011.
So that was the policy that we bandied about for several meetings also, and at the last policy committee meeting. Want to be policy committee, so we found it. Any questions?
Policy number 5083.
This was a policy that we did not have, that Sugar strongly recommended that we do have. We were, however, engaging in this work, in which we often find ourselves in that situation that we're doing the right thing, we just don't have it in writing or documented rather than policies. Whether the policy that was suggested that we adopt, and again, the policy committee felt way to go.
Clear bid.
We did have discussion at the facilities committee on the foyer. We did receive a bid for middle school and Torrington's foyer, and the decision was to push middle school forward tonight based on funding. Questions about it?
Any questions? The new course proposals from the English department.
Let me take it, just you can fill in. English department is in the process of going from a very general curriculum to specific courses, generally half-year courses, and has written into the curriculum proposals that, well, some of we're seeing in front of us now, for new courses based on student interest, but with a lot of rigor. If you look at the imprimatur that Mary DeMarchi gives those courses, they're going to be real courses, no doubt about it. They look real, and they're going to be. In a few months.
No, I think you covered everything. I think the really important piece is that they surveyed the kids and, generated some themes, and our staff developed these courses around those themes based on students' interest. I'm just pretty excited, some more electives.
Entertain a motion to go into executive session regarding the non-union contracts, inviting in Superintendent Lebowski and Kip Schulte. All those in favor?